Well, we're going into the conversations of the day. This is On the Move. My name is Palisa Tau, and I'm with Benjamin Moshatama. And you know what? There's been very, very sad news that came out of South Africa this week. A huge scholar transport accident that took place as young children were on the way to school. And unfortunately, 12 children, passed on in that particular accident. And, it's really gotten the entire South Africa at a standstill because nobody deserves to lose a child, especially in this particular manner that looks a little bit negligent. And it is quite sad news. And it actually raised the thought of children and transportation, not just to school, but in everyday life. Child passenger safety lives in so many different spaces. Parents transporting their kids with them, taking them to school and many other places where they need to be. There's also pressures of time, cost of living, shared transport, taxis, lifts with friends, and the gap between what's recommended and what feels realistic. So today we're unpacking child passenger safety as a lifestyle issue shaped by affordability, access, trust, and habit. But we're also talking more broadly about how families assess risk, how safety messages land or don't, and how caregivers can make informed, practical decisions about transporting their children. Joining us on the line is change agent in road safety, car seat expert, and founder of WheelWell, Peggie Mars. Peggie, thank you so much for your time. Good morning.
Good morning, Palisa and Benjamin. Thank you for having me.
Welcome
It
on
is
the
a
show.
very important topic that
Yeah.
we're
Sure.
going to talk
Yeah.
this morning.
It's a very sad event that has led us to these conversations and are opening them up. And unfortunately, it shouldn't have to be this way. It shouldn't have to be that, lives are lost of young people who have bright futures ahead of them for us to be having conversations like these. But let's speak about the reality. The reason why some of these things take place, why children have to be in public transport, is because we live in a country where there is a lot of inequality and there's a lot to assess before you actually put any child in any sort of transport, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. We have huge socioeconomic issues. Um, Education is a right, safety is a right. Our Children's Act says that the well-being of children should be considered in every decision made about them. And we need to keep these things in mind. We can find a way if we all work together. We are a community, and there are different role players in the chain of safety, and they each have a function. And if they expedite their function like they should, then we have a chain of safety.
Peggy, that's an interesting thing that you just highlighted there. You said a chain of safety. That phrase
Yeah.
stands out for me. I've never heard that. It seems like there's an
Mm.
ecosystem when you
Yes,
refer to safety. Talk to us about
yes.
what you mean by that.
Okay, certainly. We have the Department of Transport. They are in charge of legislation and enforcement, as well as the road infrastructure. And with that, I'm just not just mean the tar on the road, I mean the verges, I mean the stop signs, I mean the road signs on the road itself. That is all in the purvey of the Department of Transport. We have the Department of Education. They should be implementing a national school transport policy, and they should be managing the project. Then we have the taxi owners. They own a vehicle. They must ensure that that vehicle is roadworthy and properly licensed and regularly maintained so that the tires, the shock absorbers, the engine, everything works like it should on that vehicle. We have a driver. He needs to be correctly certified. He needs to have a PRDP. He needs to have training, especially for driving with children, because that is just an added burden of responsibility that you place on somebody's driving skills. And then you have the parents. They also have responsibilities. Parents can check the transport of their children, if not themselves. In a community where children are collected from a central point, somebody can have a look at the vehicle and see if the tires are good, whether the license is valid, etc.
There's a lot that happens, especially in the public transport realm, and many do have a feeling that they actually cannot be choosy when it comes to public transport.
Yeah.
Number one, because of the expense, and you have to you choose what is most affordable to you. You'd never know if that vehicle is going to be overloaded or not, because you also have your own time restraints. In fact, a lot of parents leave for work before their child are even picked up from school. Some their children are picked up first, so they don't actually get to see the full scale of what happens in the transport with their kids. There are issues of the department who should be overseeing, or departments that should be overseeing these risks when it comes to the transporting young kids. Do you think that these risks are actually being looked at and assessed in the correct manner?
Not at all. Not at all. There's been serious failure there. But I do see that the minister is speaking out, that she is making an urgent appeal to the RTMC to send out the traffic police people to do the checks that is required, not just for the drivers, for the vehicles, etc., so that that chain of safety is strengthened. If all the chains are strong, then we avoid crashes. If there's one weak link in that chain, the entire process is, but it is not yet devastating. Monday's crash happened because every single link in that chain was broken. That driver was 22 years old. He was not old enough yet to take on that vast responsibility. He wasn't mentally mature enough. The brain develops over time, and our prefrontal cortex is the last to really settle into adulthood, and that only happens around 25 to 27 years old. That is where your executive function is. That is where you are able to assess risk. That youngster did not have the tools to drive that vehicle yet. He wasn't licensed. The vehicle wasn't licensed. He didn't have a PRTP. All these links in the chain failed. And the result is that 12 beautiful young children are dead. It's devastating.
Let's get practical when it comes to child safety in a vehicle. What are the considerations here that should happen? Let's speak from a parenting perspective. When you are with your child in a car, what are the considerations that you should make? Because I'd like us to start there, and then we'll move into different forms of transportation for children.
Certainly. So in your private vehicle, where you are the driver and your children are the passengers, your children need to be in child restraints. The seatbelt, that is one of the primary safety features in your vehicle, is not designed to fit a child. It's designed to fit an adult. It's like trying to get your 6-year-old child wear your shoes and be comfortable in it. It doesn't work like that. So car seats are designed to protect your child in 3 ways. First of all, it keeps them safely restrained within a safe zone in the vehicle so that they can ride down the forces of a crash. It prevents them from being flung around within the vehicle and hit the sides of the vehicle or other passengers in the vehicle. And it keeps them restrained while you are driving. Children are very distracting, even more so than your phone. And if you're constantly paying attention to your child being just ruling on the back, you're not focusing on the road. So keep your children in car seats, keep them safe. There are different types of car seats, and you need to consider your child's age, weight, and height when you decide on a car seat for them. And children need to be in a car seat the very first time they are in a vehicle until they are 1.5 meters tall. I know that there's an enormous amount of information that goes around this because children don't come in one shape and size, neither do car seats nor cars. So it is really, advice needs to be tailored to the individual person, and we have an open door policy to parents. Our number, I will give that, 073 393 7356. If you have any questions around car seats, and there are no silly questions. Every question is valid. And then as the driver, you need to be cognitive of the fact that you are already training the driver your child is going to be. Children learn from what you do, not so much from what you say. So if you drive responsibly, you use your seatbelt, you're not on your cell phone, you're already training a safe driver.
Yeah, Peggy, stay
And
on the line. Unfortunately, we need to take a very short break. We'll come back and continue unpacking, child safety in private vehicles with their parents, and then move on to other modes of transport as well. We're speaking to Peggie Mars, change agent in road safety, car seat expert, and founder of WheelWell.
Channel Africa is moving with the times, and so is our WhatsApp line. We've changed our WhatsApp number, making it even easier for you to stay connected. Send us your voice notes, comments, shout outs, and song requests to our new WhatsApp number, +27 83 288 6684. That's +27 83 288 6684. Save it, share it, and stay in the conversation. Channel Africa, the African perspective. Balisa and Benjamin fuel your day with fresh African perspective on Channel Africa.
Hey, use that new WhatsApp number that we have, +27 83 288 6684. On this conversation as well, what do you think? What do we need to do better as communities, as countries, as African governments to make sure that there's good child care when it comes to how they travel on the road? We're speaking to our guest today on this one, and it's an important conversation due to what happened after the accident that left 12 little children really killed in a huge accident. Peggie Mars is a change agent and road safety, a car seat expert and founder of WheelWell. Right? I love the fact that you spoke about the car seat, because that's a complicated one. I remember when I first bought a car seat for my son, and it was kind of a small car seat, and I put it in. I'm like, yeah, all right, we're good to go. Let's do this, all right? And then I got even the people where I bought the car seat to show me how this car seat actually works. And I was like, okay, we've got this going, right? And then to my surprise is that as he grew older, the car seat got smaller, he got bigger. And I was like, how? I thought this was a great investment. And then someone told me, no, you got the wrong car seat. You have to get a car seat now that's for his age and for his size. Let's speak about that, because we only think that a car seat is a one-time purchase. And even if it is a one-time purchase, you have to be clever about that car seat.
Oh, yeah. Yes. You have to be clever about it, because then you will save yourself money in the long run. We advise parents really to start with that little infant carry seat, because that is specifically designed to keep the body of a newborn child safe.
Yeah, that's the one I got. Yeah.
Yes. At birth, our little babies have no strength in their bodies yet. Their muscles are not developed, their ligaments, their skeletons, nothing is strong yet. And they need that extra support that infant seat gives. So start your car seat journey there. At 6 months, when your child can sit strong, that is where you make your first decision. If your child sits strong and they are straining up in that little infant seat, it is not a sign that they want to start forward facing yet. It is a sign that they want a more upright seat. So there you get a combination seat that can still rear face till 15 months. That is the absolute hard limit that you have to rear face your child to. And just to explain that, rear facing means that your child looks out the back window of your car when you drive forward. It is all to do with crash dynamics. If your child is forward facing, their little bodies is held up with a harness, and in a crash, their body is restrained but not their head, and their neck will throw forward with quite a severe force. That little neck and the ligaments are not designed to do that, and they can sustain serious injury. If you turn that car seat around where your child's back is now facing the direction of travel, the whole back of that seat supports your child's head, neck, and spine and prevent those severe injuries from happening. So rear facing must till 15 months. But at 6 months, if your child is uncomfortable in their seat and they want to sit upright, look at that combination seat that can rear face till 15 months. If they're happy, Keep them in the infant seat. You know, your children don't know better. They don't come into this world with a preset of ideas of how they want things done. They learn from us. Then that infant seat is good till 15 months. That is your next milestone where you make decisions. You can now transition into a toddler seat. That is a seat designed for children from 15 months to 4 years. Those little bodies are not strong enough yet. It still needs that harness to restrain them. They need a car seat with good side impact protection because vehicles spin and roll during a crash, and you need to minimize the movement of the head and neck within that car seat to protect them. And a toddler seat can be forward facing. So if you cannot afford the extended rear facing car seats, at 15 months, you can start facing forward. That toddler seat is good till 4 years, 18 kilograms or 105 centimeters. If your child reaches one of those milestones, you need to start looking at a booster seat. So at 4 years, your child's skeleton have hardened to the degree that they can now be safely restrained in the adult seatbelt, but it's not big. They're not big enough in stature to benefit from a seatbelt. So we need to have a booster seat that makes that seatbelt fit your child. So it brings that seatbelt down so that it is here in the middle of the shoulder, where there's strong bones. And it keeps the lap belt low at the top of the legs. Again, it is anchored on strong bones and not over the soft organs inside your tummy. Those soft organs are easily ruptured during a crash, and internal injuries are devastating because that's internal bleeding. That's not an obvious injury that you can see.
All right.
The other
Before
benefit
Peggy, before we run out
Yes.
of time, I really do want to touch on the public transport issue because we are
Yes,
about to
please.
run out, right?
Yeah.
The ones that we just spoke about are those that the parents have control over. But in South Africa, over 20 million people use public transport daily. That's 80% of our population dependent on public transport. And we spoke a little bit about, you know, the factor of habit and social habit. And you said, you know, kids see what they see, not what we say. And in public transport, I hardly see people wearing seat belts. In fact, I've seen public transports with seat belts, but they never in use. In fact, even the drivers just take them out altogether. In the public transport realm, is there actually anything that we can do to try and keep our children safe? Because, you know, these are factors that we actually don't have control over. And we know how the industry is. They say either you want to get in the taxi or you don't want to get in the taxi. And this is how, you know, you take it or leave it. So what do we do?
Yeah. So not all of us are empowered, and the more money you have, the more choices you have, and the more options you have. So our low-income communities rely on the minibus taxi industry. You know that element of trust that you spoke about earlier. Parents don't just trust their children with a driver. The driver trusts the operator that his vehicle is safe. And when all these safety chains are in place, then transport is safe. The major thing with a minibus taxi, the industry transport is the maintenance of the vehicles. Those vehicles need to be in good running order. The driver needs to be correctly certified and have his PRDP. And you know, you can have a quick look at the vehicle and quickly tell if that vehicle is safe or not. Tires did give away. If the tires are smooth and in bad condition, that vehicle will not perform during a crash as you expect. You know, the vehicles are designed for safety. They're not just boxes on wheels. They are designed in a very specific way that if they're driven at the correct speeds and everything is functioning as it should, a crash should be survivable. It is when we go across those barriers that crashes become deadly. Passengers do have agency. You know, there are 12 of you in a vehicle and there's one driver.
Yeah.
And if he speeds, you can ask him to slow down. If not, take a photo of his dashboard. The contact details of the taxi association that he belongs to is at the back of the vehicle. Send him a WhatsApp. You know, we can be activists as citizens.
Yeah.
Modern technology, we have access to a lot of tools that we can use. Take that photo to your metro policeman and say, look, this happened this morning. Please investigate for us. We fear for our safety. They will act.
Right.
You know, I found that most metro police are trying very, very hard to accommodate everything, but they are also overwhelmed with the enormity of their task. And if we can help them and point them to where the weak spots are, they will certainly appreciate that. If we have, for instance, a road safety officer at every school, we have a safety officer. It's just adding to their duties a little bit so
Sure.
that there's an adult at the point where children are dropped off at school.
Yeah.
Just to keep a calm presence when children arrive and go. You know, children are noisy and rowdy and carry on and run. If there's a calm adult to keep an eye on the situation, take photos of the transport.
Sure, Peggy,
Count
we've
how
run out
many
of
children
time,
come out of
unfortunately. We could carry on this one. But if people want to get more information from you, Peggy, where can they go to get access to WheelWell? Because I think you do a fantastic job in regards of this subject matter.
Fantastic. We have a website, wheelwell.co.za. There we have an enormous amount of articles around the safety of children.
Okay.
We have printable tools for parents that they can print and just put up the information everywhere that parents see it when they go past. Our numbers and contact details are there. Any questions, any queries, please be in contact.
All right, Peggy, we have to leave it there, unfortunately, because we have our news that's coming up. Thank you so much for this conversation. We really appreciate it. That's Peggie Mars, change agent in road safety, car seat expert and founder of WheelWell. Well, let's move on quickly and get our sports.